I gave My Hero Academia the Dragon Ball, and I'm trying to figure out what wish each character will have. Some will be funny, some will be weird, some will be heroic, and some might be a little questionable. And just so you know, we're doing 3 students, 3 heroes, and 3 villains. And at the end of the video, we're giving a really special character the Dragon Balls to see what their wish is going to be. So stay tuned for that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and give the first wish to Bakugan. When it comes to looking at Bakugan's character, there's obviously a huge thing that points out his ultra competitive nature. Bakugan's obsession with being the best is easily expressed throughout the entire story of My Hero Academia. So naturally, we would all think that Bakugan would just wish himself to be the strongest hero in the entire world, surpassing All Might and now Deku. But I beg to differ, because something that is equally as important as winning is how Bakugan wins. As we saw in My Hero Academia Season 5 during the Class 1A versus 1B joint training arc, Bakugan wasn't just satisfied with his team winning, and instead he was adamant about winning 4-0, a clean sweep. So if Bakugan was just granted the power to be stronger than All Might, I doubt he would be satisfied with that victory, because deep down he would know it's not because he was just better than All Might. The other option for Bakugan is that he would wish for something along the lines of a hyperbolic time chamber, but obviously he has no idea what hyperbolic time chambers even do, so he would just ask for probably a training regimen thing. But then again, although Bakugan is arguably one of the hardest working students in Class 1A, we don't really visually see him training as much as it is implied. So even if that is a part of his character, it's something that Horikoshi is not vividly expressing throughout the story, meaning it wouldn't make much sense. But I know the perfect wish for Bakugan. And if you think about it, it is the only wish that Bakugan could ever have. Bakugan 100% is going to wish for All Might to return back to his prime. Now it's obvious as to why Bakugan would want to wish All Might back to his prime. The main reason, and the most blatant reason, is because he still feels that he is responsible for All Might's retirement. Getting kidnapped by the League of Villains was one thing, but in All Might trying to save him from All For One's clutches, All Might was incapable of going all out because he didn't want to do anything bad to Bakugan. And obviously that put All Might at a significant disadvantage, ultimately causing All Might to lose all the vestiges within One For All in his final attack, United States of Smash. This is the only real way that Bakugan would feel he would be able to redeem himself for effectively creating the downfall of Hero Society as a whole. But now that we finished with Bakugan, the next wish being granted with the Dragon Balls is Deku. Now with Deku, it's a little bit difficult because with Bakugan's wish, we've already gotten All Might back. But honestly, in looking at Deku's character, I 100% do not believe he would wish for All Might to be back. Mainly because I don't think that he would think to bring All Might back. But another reason why I don't think that he will bring All Might back is because I think that his wish is going to be something that follows a little bit more of his naive nature. I mean, sure, Deku wants to be a hero just like All Might, but his real goal is to save everyone with a smile. So I think we can all agree that Deku's wish is going to be to take away all villainy in the world, or something along the lines of that. But the thing about that is Shenron will likely deny that power because it's impossible to stop somebody's intent of doing anything. And after getting denied by Shenron, I know for a fact that this will be his perfect wish, to take away everyone's quirk. Deku is one of the most analytical and tactical peoples in the entire story, and I think Deku would immediately come to the conclusion that the reason why the world is how it is because of the superpowers that they have. Even though he understands that it's actually in their mind, he can't wish for people to just think differently. So the second common denominator is the power that is giving these people the ability to take over the world. So Deku can wish for that, or he can wish for his daddy to come home. The next in line for the wish of the Dragon Balls is none other than Minoru Minato. Y'all know I just had to put him in here. Don't be judging me. So, now contrary to popular belief, I guarantee Minato would just wish for a wholesome life. He would wish for the end of world hunger, for there to be no poverty whatsoever on the face of the earth. Minato would wish that there be no stray cats or dogs, because he's just that godly. He's just that amazing. It's Minato. But I found it. I found the wish that only Minato would make, that no one in the entire multiverse of any other anime would make but Minato. And you want to know what it is? Panties. Yes, Minato will wish for panties. That is all. Now that we're done with the students, let's go ahead and move on to the heroes. And the first hero to get their wish granted is Hawks. I am actually very curious as to what Hawks would actually wish for. I mean, he has the life that everyone would want. He's the #2 hero in Japan. He gets all the ladies. He's stripped out to the nine. And he's faster than everybody. He has clout. He has hair. He has wings that he can telekinetically move individually and create storage from the other parts of the wings. There's nothing that this man should ever need. But if you really think about it, there is one thing that sucked about Hawks. One thing that I guarantee if he had the opportunity to have, he would wish for. This might be a little silly. I think the only wish that Hawks could ever ask for is a loyal mother. Hawks' mom is the most unloyal, untrustworthy woman that you could ever ask for. She would chastise and beat him for wanting to go outside just because she think it's possible that he would rat out his own dad for being a criminal. And then after his dad got arrested by Endeavor, which is the reason why he loves Endeavor, but after that they became homeless and she relied on Hawks for them to get money to eat. You would think that would make her love her own child, but apparently it doesn't. And you would even think that Hawks saving a group of people from a high-speed car crash, which caught the eyes of the Public Hero Safety Commission, so much so that they recruited him and his mother to stay essentially with the government, meaning they don't have to pay for food, drinks, utilities, housing. They don't have to pay for anything, all because Hawks became a heroic person. So he quite literally took his mom from the slums to the riches, and then he became the #2 hero and put her in a mansion. And the first thing that she does when she sees the villain Dabi confronting her is spill the beans on everything about this man's life. She snitched on Hawks, told all of his past about his criminal father and his real name, and then wrote a note about how she did it and ran away. This woman is so ungrateful. Hawks, you don't deserve that. You deserve a loyal mother. Wish for her. Wish for her, Hawks. I need to chill. I am super passionate about this right now. All right, let's just go on to the next person because I'm tired of this woman. I'm tired of her. So speaking of Hawks, the next person to receive the Dragon Balls has to be Endeavor. Now Endeavor, similar to Bakugo, has always been obsessed with strength, and not only strength, but being the #1. And honestly, I think one of the best wishes that Endeavor could make would be having 100% immunity to all fire. Pretty much taking the lid off of the cap of what his body can handle when it comes to his flame quirk. I mean, to be honest, that's the only thing that was holding him back from surpassing All Might. It's not because his flame wasn't hot enough, it's just that he couldn't train past his body's capacity. So if he has 100% immunity to fire, in which he doesn't right now, because again, at certain temperatures, fire does affect Endeavor, Shoso, and Dabi, but having 100% immunity would 100% allow him to surpass All Might. But the way that Endeavor's set up right now, there is no way that he wishes to have 100% immunity, because instead, he would undoubtedly ask for Dabi's body to be fixed. And not only fixed, but Endeavor would likely wish that Dabi's biological structure allows his body to use his flame to its fullest capacity. Now, obviously it makes sense because he wants to atone for his crimes that he has done in his past. And for the longest time, Endeavor has specifically said that he believed that he was the one that killed Toya. So as a way to atone for his sins and at the same time redeem himself in some sort, he would wish for his son to have the body that his son always wanted, which would allow him to be a hero, but there's obviously a huge problem. Endeavor wishing for Toya to have a capable body is not going to stop Toya from hating Endeavor, and actually will be considerably more worse for Endeavor in his fight with Toya. But we all believe that he's going to die in the fight against Toya anyway, so he could die either way, it doesn't matter. Now the next hero to get their wish granted is Wash. Wash is low-key the man. I mean, technically, he would be the reason why Bakugo survives. He single-handedly saved every single civilian inside of the hospital during the Paranormal Liberation War. All of those citizens would have been decayed had it not been for Wash making bubbles in the sky. And in the data books that are made up, it specifically stated that Wash was the one who trained Prime All Might before he fought against All For One in the first bout. But you know what the common thing is when it comes to Wash's production in the story? Nobody credits him. But not today, because Wash got the Dragon Ball. And all he would want is some recognition for the actions that he has committed throughout the entire story of My Hero Academia. I mean, we wouldn't have soap without this man. He teaches children how to take baths. He promotes healthy hygiene. And nobody cares? Not today. Your wish has been granted. And now we're on to the villains. And interestingly enough, they have wishes that you probably wouldn't immediately think about, but the moment I say them, you're going to agree. Twice has to be the first villain to get his wish. He's been done wrong by both the heroes and the villains, and I care for him. And if we can be honest, the immediate wish that Twice would make would be kind of weird. Mainly because he's 31, and the person that the wish will pertain to is 17. And I mean, you probably, are you picking up what I'm putting down with the character? You know, she's in the League of Villains too, and We don't want that. We don't want that. So let's just change direction and figure out what his alternative wish would be if he had one. And looking at Twice's story, one of the most common things that often comes about is the idea that he doesn't have friends and he desires to be relied on. In his backstory, it's very blatant that he didn't have any friends. He couldn't connect with anybody, so he created more Twice clones to do bad things, but also as a way to connect with people outside of himself, even though it still was himself. And after the traumatic events that he had with his clones that left him scarred, literally and also psychologically, he longed to have friends and always tried his best to be a reliable friend back, because he didn't want to go back to the life of loneliness, which led him to his ultimate demise. So in understanding that, I think his wish has to do something along the lines of his comrades. It can very much be that he wishes that he has the perfect friend, or that he can become the best friends with certain people. But in truly thinking about it, and this might be a cop-out, but it's similar to the Endeavor situation in which he wants to be redeemed. Understanding that Twice's actions were the root cause for every major incident that deals with the League of Villains, and considering how much he didn't like his own self for what he did to the League of Villains, unintentionally of course, the only reasonable wish similar to Endeavor in his redemption would be for him to bring back Magni from the dead. In My Hero Academia Season 4, with the introduction of Overhaul, the results of Overhaul's encounter with the League of Villains was Mr. Compressed losing his left arm and Magni's death. Not only that, but the 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚢𝚛𝚒, which is Overhaul's crew, was able to track his location and come to the rescue to save him in his moment of need. So not only did Mr. Compressed lose an arm, not only did Magni die, but the League of Villains' secret hideout had now been known by their enemy group. And all of this happened because Twice led Overhaul to the League of Villains. And he did the same thing in the Perennial Liberation War, revealing information to Hawks about the League of Villains that should have been hush-hush, which resulted in the heroes getting the upper hand in his untimely demise. So if Twice was here, I 1000% believe that he would want to repay his debt to the League of Villains by bringing back the person that he was in charge or responsible for the death of. These wishes are a little deeper than I thought. The next villain whose wish we obviously need to talk about is All For One. I was immediately going to say him not being a potato head, but now that he's a Chad, I don't know what to do. All For One is easily the most mysterious person as far as giving him a wish, because he 1000% can go the easy route of saying, I wish to be the strongest in the entire world and no one can stop him. But that wouldn't be too much fun. I'm very curious as to why he wants to connect with his little brother again. And I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with him getting one for all. I think it's more so he wants to connect with his little brother again. But being that we don't know anything about All For One, it's kind of hard to tell. So if I had to truly, honestly give All For One a wish, I think All For One would wish. We all know that he's gonna wish to be the strongest in the world. We all know that. Let's just stop. Now the next wish that we're gonna talk about is one of the most interesting characters to make a wish in the entire story of My Hero Academia. If Shigaraki had the Dragon Balls, he would either impulsively destroy the world or something else. I'm 100% positive that he wouldn't want to bring back his family. Mainly because, again, just because he brings them back doesn't mean it's going to change the life that he had when he grew up with his family. And plus, he often says whenever he has the hands of his family around him, yes, it makes him calm, but it also makes him want to throw up. Oh, I found it. I know the perfect wish. And this might be a super cop-out, but it makes sense narratively, and it would change everything in My Hero Academia if he can get this wish. The wish that Shigaraki would ask for if he had the Dragon Balls would be to bring back Mon-chan. And just in case you don't know, Mon-chan is Shigaraki's childhood doll. And I believe if he were to be granted a wish, again, he would either impulsively destroy the world or he would wish back Mon-chan. Mon-chan was the All For One before All For One. He was the only thing in the entire world that never left the side of Shigaraki, or at that time Tinko, all the way until Tinko's quirk manifested and he decayed his own doll. Every time Tinko got punished, their Mon-chan was. Every time Tinko wanted to play hero, their Mon-chan was. Every time Tinko went to eat chicken nuggets, their Mon-chan was. But the real reason why Shigaraki wishing Mon-chan back to life would change the entire trajectory of My Hero Academia is because if Shigaraki does, then it's not Shigaraki who would be talking and asking for the wish. It will be the Tinko that is inside of him. The same Tinko that wanted to be a hero just like All Might. And the same Tinko that wants to be saved by Deku. So Shigaraki wishing back Monchan represents his desire to be a hero. However, we do understand that he's done some very evil stuff. He's taken a lot of people's lives and he's destroyed the entire foundation of the world as we know it. But he can always be redeemed. And now, the wish of the legendary character in My Hero Academia is me. And all I wish for is that if you see this list, you're having a great day. Psych, I want you to subscribe, I want you to like, I want you to comment, I want you to do all that. That's my wish. I don't care if you have a good day. Eat chicken nuggets and you have a great day. See you tomorrow.